think everybody...
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cowbutter's Corner for this week's Whatcha Playing Wednesday. I am Lord Cowbutter Geiler, companion of the Meridian Cross, companion of the Argent Comet, companion of the Argent Lamp, Osprey, and Reaper. Coming to you live, as always, from the Bearing of the Osprey on the southern coast of Meridies. I am joined once again for the third time by Lady Katherine Throckmorton, all the way out in Atenveldt. Howdy. How are you, Katherine?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome.
So let's play our. We have two sets of rules left.
Yep.
So let's do this and figure out which reconstruction is the most funnest reconstruction.
Let me share the screen here. So this is this is part 3. For those of you who haven't seen the first 2, there are 2 other parts out there for this particular thing. For Ludus Latrunculum, or I just call it Ludus because I can't see the rest of those words. But so we have 5 different rule sets we've looked through to figure out which one is most accurate, but also more specifically which one's more fun. Because all of these could theoretically be accurate in some sense, and probably were accurate at some point. And they very obviously have some differences or allusions to other games that we've seen. We've talked about some of those. The 2 we're playing tonight are a little different from the other ones we've played. Specifically in the board setup and some of the piece arrangements, and there's already sort of an argument about how the pieces are going to be arranged. So that's step 1. All right, so the first one we have up is Faulkner. So this was published in 1892, so a little post-period, but it was referencing things that were done in the pre-1600 times, so it's still accurate.
So it's worth mentioning at this point, just from a historic point of view, that Faulkner is the first person to actually try to reconstruct the game.
Okay.
So it might be interesting as you're reading through this to kind of just have in the back of your mind, like, how is Faulkner influencing everybody who came after him?
That's true, and especially if he wasn't just documenting, but actually sort of researching it a little more, whereas Bell just sort of documented what he saw or what he found. He didn't really go into it as deep as that. That's right.
And I mean, all of them are basically going after. You've got like a couple lines of Ovid that kind of describe a capture mechanic, and Isidore of Seville kind of describes how to play the game, but in sort of general terms. So we're all you're kind of putting it together based on fragmentary evidence. Right.
All right, so looking at Faulkner, we have the board is a little bigger, so it's 144 cylinder squares, so it's a 12 by 12. The ones previously were 8 by 10 or 8 by 11, 10 by 10, somewhere in that sort of size. This one's a little bigger. It says each player has 5 rows of pieces beginning at the left-hand corner. They are placed alternately. We don't know what this means, so we're going to look at a couple different layouts. I think I just figured it out, that it's going to be set up like checkers.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was starting to think.
I think that's the makes most sense, is that it's set up like checkers. Pieces can move backwards, can move and take in all directions: perpendicular, horizontal, diagonal, forwards, and backwards. So this is the first one we've seen that has diagonal movement, as opposed to just orthogonal. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Pieces attack each other when in contiguous cells, and when another piece comes up on the opposite side, the intermediate piece is taken. So it's a similar mechanic to the rest of them, where an enemy piece in the center and opposing pieces either side is a capture. And it also says that the piece can go between 2 adverse pieces without being taken, which means you can effectively suicide, but it's not a capture unless the attacking player is making the movement. And then, of course, the ending mechanic was nice. When one side is hopelessly beaten or locks himself in the game, the game is lost. So basically, if at any point the player goes, I've lost 2 pieces, or they cannot move, is what I'm saying. What I'm assuming locks himself in means.
That makes sense.
If they can't make a move, then they're stuck. I would see hard pressed to not be able to make a move. But I mean, I guess it's entirely possible. So, especially because there's no corner capturing mentioned, so you could theoretically hide in the 4 corners or on the sides, and it would be harder to be captured. So I could see that. But then you could just literally block them in and be like, okay, you're blocked, you're done.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Let's hop over to roll 20 right quick. All right, so I'm gonna, as always, I will be playing the holders, and Catherine will be playing the skulls. Are you in the right roll 20? I don't see you popped in yet.
I clicked on the Roll20 link that you posted in the chat, and I can see you.
Are you seeing this board that I'm showing on the screen?
I am not. I'm going to click on launch game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're launching game.
Yeah. That generally helps. Yeah.
Sorry guys, technical issues as always.
Yep.
I am but a YouTube amateur. So.
Okay. So it's loading.
All right, I'm going to start deleting pieces because I think that makes the most sense. Just delete every other one of these.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, now I just have to shrink my screen enough that I can see what's going on. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're just deleting like checkers. So
right, so you need to leave your bottom left corner, which would be that one, and then start deleting there.
Right. So okay.
That one, yep. Cool. I'll start up here at the top. That one. And you can just click them and delete. Actually, hit delete on it too.
Okay. I wasn't sure exactly how to delete it.
Keyboard functions should all work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's not working on my end, but that's okay.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
All right, so looking at the rules, we can move forward, backwards, left, and right, and diagonally.
Mm-hmm. It does not say how many squares.
Right. So if we can go one or two ways. I think moving it one piece or one square at a time makes the most sense because of the amount of pieces on the board.
I agree.
I think anybody think more than that would be too much movement. But again, it could be an interesting variant depending on how this one plays out. So
well, let's just see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. So I will let you move first as always, if you will. Okay, so far we're like 1-1, aren't we?
Yeah, we're 1-1.
Who won
no, you won the first one. We're 2-1. Yeah. The only
you won the first one, and then I won the second time in the pity game. Don't play me like that. I remember that pity game. You're like, oh, let's play again.
No, it wasn't a pity game. It was we realized that we made a mistake when we were doing, and then we started to play again. And then we stopped because we realized that even if it was the right way, it was a dumb variation and was making us both want to like.
I was ready to throw my keyboard that night. I really,
yeah. So it's like, why bother?
And it is your turn, I believe.
I think you're probably right. This is definitely one where it's going to take a little while before anything happens.
Right. Yeah, which is, I guess, my only thought about why you would want to do multiple spaces at a time is the speed.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be that slow.
It shouldn't be.
So I think it's okay, but...
All right, so I moved into there, so that's not a capture.
Right, that is a suicide.
Yep. It's a safety, is what it is.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so do we agree that is a capture?
Yes, we agree that is a capture. You will notice that I've, thoughtfully demonstrated the capture
Oh,
mechanic.
I appreciate you as always. Okay,
Thank
so,
you.
and we also don't. There was nothing mentioning about any extra turns or any other weird rules about that, but which is a difference between this one and the previous one.
Yeah.
There's no extra movement or anything for captures. There's also no jumping. It's mentioned.
Yeah. I don't like, I'm okay with no jumping.
Right.
I really like the extra move when you get a capture.
Right.
I think that adds kind of an interesting twist to it.
You moved this one up, yeah?
Yeah, I moved.
I will slide that one up and capture that then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will admit, I'm already not a fan of this one.
Yeah.
It's slow. It's slow and clunky and like.
Yeah.
You really almost have to. I'm not. I don't say you almost have to be bad at it. I think to lose, like it's a difficult. Like you almost have to like, oh yeah, here, have this piece. Like, which I mean, admittedly, there is some tactic of that of setting traps and playing the sort of chess game with it.
Yeah, but yeah, like you pretty much have to make like fairly deliberate mistakes,
Right.
if you're going to get caught.
Similar to like playing checkers and stuff now, or tic-tac-toe. Like once you know how to play tic-tac-toe, you literally can't lose without making a mistake.
Right. Well, and you can't always win.
Right.
But
you can either lose or you can either win or tie. There is no. I mean, like it is easy to make a tie game for. There you go. So actually, that was a mistake. I actually missed that. Because backwards movement. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, I think that I like the backwards movement.
Right.
And not just because it let me capture that piece, but in general.
I'm trying to see the tactics of like, all right, so like I'm going to move a piece back here. So like this piece moving over, right? I could see that now if we had full range of motion, that like taking this piece from the back line and moving it all the way up would be interesting. And that would have give you a lot more board mobility.
Yeah.
Because right now, all of my back pieces are basically I'm fighting with the front row, and everything else is reserves. Is what it feels like. There is no like other tactic for that.
Yeah.
Slide that over. Take that guy. And also not having any special piece, not having a dux or a king or something, a different piece, means there's no other win condition other than literally just beat them to death. Which I dislike games that are generally have that as the win condition.
Right.
Mostly because at some point you can usually figure out, okay, I've won or lost this game, and I'm not saying that never changes, but
I'm not like in love with I don't think the diagonal movement as opposed to orthogonal does anything. I do like being able to have a full forward, back, side to side thing going on.
Right. All right, your movement.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, but this is completely like war of attrition, club them to death. And ultimately, the winner is going to be the person who doesn't get bored.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm done. I quit.
Yeah. It's like this is like whoever gets bored and whoever gets bored and quits focusing on the game is going to lose. Yeah. So we're in agreement that Faulkner is just.
Let's try something real quick.
Yeah.
And then you reset the board real fast.
Okay.
That's too many pieces. No. Oh, because I can only undo my moves. That's funny. All right, hold
on. Okay.
I was trying to reset back to default so we could try it with the full range of motion.
Full range of motion. Yeah, let's try it with full range of motion and see what happens.
Right, so delete that. Like we'll just kind of play out a couple turns just to see what it looks like.
Yeah, and that might be better. I don't know.
It can't be worse at this point.
No, it can't. Yeah. Now, I have to say, though, I do like the mechanic where you place your own pieces.
Instead of a preset board, having it be the player
Instead of a
board.
preset board, yeah. Player set board, I like.
It is an easier start. Okay, so same game, same rules. The only rule we're changing is that you have full range of motion. It's every piece is a rook. Go.
Okay. Or actually, every piece is a queen.
Correct. Sorry, you're right. Every piece is a queen.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Every piece is a queen. So
we will nickname this one Battle of the Mongol Queens. I like it.
Okay.
Slide diagonally over there. See what happens.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to suicide just for funsies.
I'm actually going to do the same and slide right into that little hole right there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yep. And then I will do that, capturing 2.
Mm-hmm.
So there's at least a sort of trap mechanic there. I
Right.
want to down take that front one. Sure, great, because I knew it was a 1 for 2 trade.
Right.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Get better.
Let's see. Slide that guy up and take that one. Oh, apparently we're having some issues streaming to YouTube tonight. Good to know.
Okay, and then I got that guy.
Yep. Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, you still. Yep, you're good.
Yeah.
Yep, I see the slide. All right. The same thing. Okay. So we don't want to do that. Oh, that was dumb. Oh, I did that.
To be fair, you were in a place where you were going to lose something either way.
Right. Could have slid it out, but I can see.
Yeah, but I mean, you were going to lose a piece no matter what.
Right. It's like I had a thought of, I could do this fun thing. No, I can't. That's a dumb thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Okay, we'll slide right there.
Okay.
All right, we're going to slide this guy up to here, capturing either side. Okay. All right, we'll slide up to there, capturing it vertically. Yep. Do that. And the same. So yeah, there's a lot more. This already plays a lot faster. Oh, apparently we've lost Katherine. She's still playing, so I guess she'll rejoin us if she can. So we'll keep playing. I realized she was quiet. Let's see. Let me message her right quick and see if she knows she's not on the stream anymore. Oops, let me not have my Facebook up on the stream. That's a smart thing. So hang tight, everybody. Sorry for the late start and technical difficulties, and apparently YouTube being grumpy. But thus is the. Oh, there she goes.
Like was told something went wrong.
Yeah, I turned to say something to you, and you weren't there anymore.
Yes, but yeah, I don't like how much this game is rewarding you for playing super defensively.
Right. There is a whole lot. I mean, yeah. So I've noticed that I've had a couple opportunities to give you a piece and take two pieces. I've done it 2 or 3 times now. Twice. So that's interesting because I like that trap mechanic of sacrificing pieces. That's a very much a chess thing of, drop the pawn to get a queen kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, I don't hate this version, but
all right, so right now we've got, let's see, so I've got 1, 2, there's 7 to 8 pieces. So yeah, I'm only actually a piece up on you right now too, so it's not even like that lopsided either.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I say let's go ahead and pause this one and let's move on to the Quintana. So I think the issue with this one is it's going to be very much a war of attrition back and forth, even with the movement. It's going to be a constant just who can whittle the other one down faster, which I mean, realistically, I guess that's sort of the purpose of the game.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't think that either one of us, there's nothing that's going to happen that's going to be interesting or surprising or, it's just you're sitting there moving the pieces around and eventually somebody loses enough pieces that they lose, which, Yep,
I agree. All right, so let's move on to the Museum Quintana, which is the one we have the least amount of rules for, but so it says 2 players have 16 pieces each, which are arranged in 2 rows facing each other. Okay, cool. The goal of the game is to capture all the opponent's pieces. Pieces move orthogonally any unobstructed distance, so they're rooks. A piece is captured when it's caught between 2 opposing pieces. Cool, we know that. Victory is by capturing more pieces than one's opponent or by hemming in the opponent's movement. Okay, so it's capture all your pieces or run out of space to move.
Okay.
Now, the problem with the Museum Quintana set was there was no description of the board size. So I looked up the Museum Quintana board and counted it. And it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 8, I think. Yeah, 8 by 8. That's the one I found on the actual Museum Quintana set, or that museum or whatever. So this basically looks like, checkers with rooks now. So I think it looks like it's basically just a smaller version of what we just did. And instead of starting alternately, they start in a line. So we'll see what happens. All right.
This is very much Faulkner, I think.
Right. All right. Do you want to?
Yep, I will make.
So we've got. So we're moving like rooks, capturing orthogonally.
It looks like I need to get into the other game.
You're right. 2 seconds. All right. You should update view there.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm reloading. So.
Yep. I never thought of using Roll20 to play board games, but it works.
Yes. You just have to be okay with playing skulls versus beholders, apparently.
Right.
Okay.
I was building out the Gluckhouse board yesterday, and I was like, coins. I need coins. I went and started, I found a Roman-esque coin I could import in.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Are we assuming that we cannot move backwards?
It said no yet. Any distance unobstructed. Hold on. Move orthogonally any unobstructed distance. So forward, backwards, left, and right.
Okay.
Yeah, All four cardinal direction movement
Okay.
is the way I'm reading that.
That sounds good to me. Okay.
Like, okay. So because the amount of pieces is reduced in this one, I'm much more willing to be defensive, I think, than I would have been previously.
Yeah. And also this just the smaller number of pieces is going to make this a faster game.
Right.
Suicide.
Which it doesn't mention anywhere in there, but I think that's a rule we can carry over. That's a
you're right. It doesn't mention suicide, but I think that since they all have suicide, all the other variants,
except the Schaller was the only one that said specifically cared about if you were in captured position that something mattered. I think that was very much the exception to the rule. You're right.
Yeah. So
all right, we're gonna go. No, we're not going to go to there.
You could have gone there.
That's going to slide over. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose a piece regardless here. What's going to happen? Like, yeah. Sure, let's do that. Let's see what you do with it. Okay. Excuse you had options there.
Yeah.
And none of them were good for me.
No.
Yeah, still not good for me. I don't like it.
I kind of like this version better.
You know, you seem to do that.
No, and not just because of that, right. But because like the fact that you have fewer pieces kind of ups the stakes because you have to immediately get your guys into play. And it's a smaller board, and you know, there's more that can happen.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, the board's big enough so there's room to move, but it's not like there's not a whole lot of open space to move around.
And as much as I was saying that I like the diagonal movement, I kind of I don't know, like it's hard to explain, but I kind of am enjoying the way that it feels to have like just rooks.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about like sneaking off into a corner or something. It's just
right. See, I'm much better at playing angles like that. So like I would be better at this with queens versus rooks.
Yeah. Well, we can definitely try playing this with queens.
Right. It would be interesting to see the difference in it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we'll play. I think that this is worth playing out.
Right.
That would be dumb. I think that this is definitely worth playing out, and then we'll maybe play this with queens.
Right.
Okay, your move.
Moved.
Mm-hmm.
Because like right here, like a diagonal move would be great. That would be
Yeah. But you can't.
Let's see.
Yeah, because if I had been able to do a diagonal move, I would have just taken that piece like right then and there.
Right.
But I couldn't. So instead, I lost a piece, which is annoying. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. That was dumb.
I'll slide over and do that. Thank you very much. This very much is a game. So this one and the one before are very much a game of mistakes. It is very much you have to almost make. You still have to make mistakes to do. To lose something like that. And sometimes, like, so the one previously, because of the amount of pieces, making a mistake wasn't as bad because you could make an intentional mistake to then trap a piece to get two. This one, I think, is less the case because of the amount of pieces.
Right. And it's also relatively easy. Like, if you make... We went from being tied to you having...
4-2, so yeah.
Yeah, 4-2 pretty quickly just because I screwed up a couple of times.
Right. And when you've only got 16 pieces on the board, that's a huge difference now.
Right.
Not one you couldn't come back from. I mean, I've played like games like Fox and Geese where, this is all you need, but...
Oh, yeah, you can come back from it, but it's still... It's gonna...
To believe it is... did you move? I'm sorry, I missed.
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, we'll just slide that bad boy up there and take that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that was really dumb.
And again, with all these being equal pieces with no special piece, it's one-sided. It's very much a one-goal game, which again makes it checkers versus chess.
Right.
At least so, because we were playing. I mean, admittedly, with chess, there is only one goal of capture the king, but you also have the take away all their other pieces, and then the king becomes easier to capture, right? So there's sort of two games you have to play.
Right.
With checkers, there's only one goal.
Right.
See what your back row feels like there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I also could see where you could add rules to this to make it a little more fleshed out, where you could do, so you could add this where we have full movement, or you could add like diagonal movement. You could add something when you hit the back row, you get an upgrade kind of thing. Like, there's different things you could add to that.
Yeah.
But it could see a big difference.
Yeah, or I mean, you could even do it where, like, you have basically rooks, and then you have the ducks acts like a queen.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Where
give it the diagonal movement as one piece.
Yeah, and that could actually be really interesting.
Right. Or even give it the jumping ability. Same thing.
Yeah, or both. I mean.
All right. So my move. You're there. Do that. I do like this from looking at this from a tactical war perspective. I'm seeing some shield wall mechanic things.
Yeah.
The different lines of things, different so that's kind of a neat translation for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see areas where I would want to tweak this a little bit, but I'm not hating this reconstruction.
That was totally what I meant to do.
Finally, you make a mistake.
That was what I meant. That was on purpose.
Yeah.
Totally on purpose. It's a trap. It's a long-term trap.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it actually sort of is because I'm going to get one of your pieces right here regardless. So
Yeah, exactly. But, you know.
wasn't how I meant to do it, but
Suicide.
and I'll actually get 2. So I actually ended up getting both of them. That worked out.
Yep.
So yeah, see, totally intentional. It was a trap the whole time. I knew it. That was
Okay,
part of
you're
the trap. It was part
what?
of the trap. It's an elaborate part of the trap, you see.
Okay.
It's continued bait.
Okay.
Hmm. Let's see what that does.
Annoy me mildly.
I'll take it. Especially if it's only mildly. All right. Slide. Oop, not that button. There we go.
And that was a mistake. Well, kinda.
Yeah, it's one of those like. Let's see. You're gonna lose. Yeah.
But then you're going to lose this
That.
piece.
Yep.
So, on the other hand, you have more places to lose. So,
And then that happened.
right.
So this is where I need to be more aggressive now and get at least 2 more down. Just like that. So your piece in the corner is interesting because like I can't actually capture it. So that's fun. We're gonna do that.
Okay. I'm probably going to lose, but at this point, I'm just seeing. I'm just
Right.
trying to make it as unpleasant for you as possible.
I appreciate that. Well, so now we can look at the counter of how many moves before a capture occurs.
Yeah.
Mechanic, right? So that this is where that would really play in. Of if you can avoid me for 30 moves or 20 moves, whatever it was, right? You know, it becomes a stalemate. Like that's a thing that could be added.
Right. I personally was not nuts about the move counter mechanic.
Right.
I mean, just because that's something that I've only seen in like modern tournament chess.
Right.
And I mean, because I've only seen it in modern tournament chess, I'm kind of dubious about it as a historical reconstruction.
Right. Yeah, I can see where it could have been discussed of this game is taking too long. What do we do? Like, how do we fix it? If because right now we could just literally chase the other around for the next half hour. It's a,
right. Right.
Um,
On the other hand, there is a certain amusement value to at this point where you've got more pieces than I do.
Right.
And now I have to be, if I am, and I have to be like super sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Which, but if there was a movement count at some point,
right,
it would give you the option to be able to run the clock down as a secondary mechanism. So.
Right. But at the very least, this could end up being about, at a certain point, it's not about winning. It's about, pulling off an honorable defeat kind of thing.
Yeah, you have lost the battle, but you're gonna worry about the war sort of thing, which makes sense.
Right. I mean I have to say, just like culturally, I've lost, but I'm going to make you pay, has a very Roman feel to it.
You're absolutely correct.
You know what I mean? Like if you're looking for, kind of the cultural part of that.
Dun, 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 dun.
And that was dumb, and I've lost. Okay.
All right. So let's go back to this. Bam. So, that's our 5. We've got Shadler's. That was the super complicated capture chess. Might as well be Go. We've got Bell's, which is very much simplified checkers, like with some decent capture mechanics. Looks a lot like Toffel. Kowalski's is very much the chess variation of that. I'm sorry, backwards. Those two, the checkers variation of that, and then Faulkner's is just really boring chess or really boring checkers on a giant board, and then that one is like speed rook attack, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's checkers with rooks essentially. So if you had to pick a favorite by the way we played them, what was your favorite?
I'm gonna go in order. I'm going to go Bell, Quintana, Shadler. I'm sorry, not Shadler, Kowalski.
Kowalski.
Yeah, and then Shadler can just go play Go.
Yeah, that's really, he should just go play Go. He missed out. It's like I feel like he watched somebody play Go and was like, I can recreate that, and just like made the game up himself off of watching somebody play Go. That's what I think happened.
So what's your ranking?
Similar to that. I liked the let me make sure I've got the right one here. Yeah, I liked Kowalski's better than Bell's. But I can see like I want to mush the two together. I think they make you could do a great game with it. The duck from one, the board from the other.
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling about it, is that I want to kind of like mush, like I feel like there's kind of this like Kowalski Bell hybrid that would be a really super awesome game. And
probably what I'll do when I add it to my book is I'm gonna mush the two together.
And if we do an episode 4, can we do an episode 4 where we have like the ultimate recreation?
We shall see. We'll talk about that.
Okay, well, we'll see about it in episode 4. But I think that I would, regardless, I would like to sit down with you and like figure out the version that we like the best.
Right.
Based on all the ones we've played. I have to say the Museum Quintana is not bad.
If I had to play one as written,
I
like
would pick.
bare bones as written, I'd play that one.
Yeah,
Hands down. It was
yeah,
the now, granted, it's
yeah,
also the simplest, and we made a lot of assumptions about it.
yeah,
So that may be why, because we essentially wrote our own rules based on a very simplified thing. But
yeah.
that's not uncommon for a lot of period games. We have a lot of very
Yeah, well,
conjectural stuff.
we didn't really add that much except for like we added in the suicide rule.
Well, yeah, okay, we added that. We added, we assumed that we could go backwards and forwards based on any unobstructed distance.
Yeah,
We assumed that you couldn't capture in the corners because basically we have a whole lot of rules that could have got added. We didn't add too, I guess, too.
yeah,
And then we assumed we figured out the board size. We sort of guessed on the
yeah,
board size based on, but that was based on the replica, so wasn't I
right.
didn't guess that
Yeah,
on my own.
yeah, yeah. The Museum Quintana though, it's like it's fun. It's not a bad game,
Right.
but I don't feel like if I'm teaching a class on cool period games that you can play, I don't think that you get a lot out of the Museum Quintana that you don't get from like playing like say Nine Men's Morris or
It's more something like Alkirk or
or Alkirk or maybe even like or maybe even Fox and Geese in a way. Not really, but you know what I mean. Like
right.
it's that kind of like you're chasing around the board trying to capture game.
Right.
You
But
know,
that's a lot of those games that were in the capture game mechanic are the same thing. Like and unfortunately, there's only so many ways to do that. Either you change the board, which is either by size or by diagonals,
right.
But
I
that's another rule.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like okay, like if you play any of the Toffel variants, right?
Right.
And you play like Alakirk and you play Nine Men's Morris, those feel like they're three different games, they're three different experiences.
Right.
And I feel like the Museum Quintana, you're not you could just play checkers or play Alakirk.
Oh, see, I actually disagree with that. I think it was the most unique of the ones to me.
Really?
Yeah. It felt like it felt the least like other games when I was playing it.
Okay.
Because now, granted, it was very much checkers with rooks. Like we can relate it to that, right? But it didn't feel like Toffel because of the board state, right? It was an equal board state. There wasn't a surrounding thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like checkers because of the rook movement and no jumping. So like that balance was there, I think. So it actually was the most unique to me of the four.
Okay.
It wasn't and we joke about Shadler's being Go. It's obviously not Go, but like it has a lot of the Go mechanics. But it was the only one I didn't go, oh, this is just blah game. Now it is just checkers with rooks because I mean realistically.
Yeah, there's only so many. I mean, it's like anything else. There's only so many plots in the world.
Right.
I would like to kind of maybe take the Museum Quintana and add a couple of the things in there that we liked from Shadler and from Bell. And see what and things like that. And kind of see because we already added the suicide rule.
Right.
So I kind of feel like if we added a couple of things that we liked from the other game, we would have something really unique and super fun.
I think what the two versions I'm seeing in my head are going to be one based with Museum Quintana at the start of that, so the board state of that, and sort of the generalized stuff from that. Make some things added, and then one that is a Bell Kowalski collaboration.
Yeah,
and those will be two different games actually.
Yeah, they will.
Even if we find some things because of the board state start is so different.
Yeah,
I think I
agree with that. I think that we should do each of those versions and then do a head-to-head and see which one we like best.
Cool. Yeah, you and I can.
So
we can have a point.
we will talk, and then there will be episode 4.
Cool.
So,
All right.
anyway,
I have things to accomplish and projects to do tonight. It is
I have food to eat.
awesome. Well, you do that. I appreciate you doing this. Thank you for being
Not a problem. Always good to see you.
And for those of you out in YouTube or Facebook land, if I'm sorry if the YouTube stream broke. I'll see if I can fix that later. So sorry. But it has been a pleasure having you all. Tune in next week as always. I don't know what game we're playing yet, but it'll be up shortly. And this has been Cal Barter and Katherine in Cal Barter's Corner. Thanks, guys.
Bye.